Hey everyone, it's Joy here with another lawn fawn video, and today I created a fun little snowman scene where they're getting a ton of treats by a Christmas tree. So I'm going to start by stamping some of my images. I'm using the Frosty family. I'm using the 3 smallest snowmen. I have to double stamp the arms and the hat and the scarf. I'm also going to do a second the smallest snowman. So this is going to be a little family of snowmen. I'm also going to be using images from Treat Cart and the Treat Cart add-on coffee along with the Christmas Dreams. I used the Christmas tree out of the Christmas Dreams. I don't show myself coloring it because I added it later, but I colored it the same as I'm going to color these images here. So I put the little faces on the 2 snowmen. Then there's Christmas lights. I'm going to stamp those twice. We have the treat cart and the sign. We have a gingerbread cookie, a candy cane. I end up doing a cake pop. There are a coffee mug, a croissant, another coffee mug or hot chocolate with marshmallows on it. So I'm going to do those a couple of times to give us some extra treats here and plenty of little things to add to our cute Christmas scene here. I decided to mainly go with traditional Christmas colors. I threw in a little bit of purple and kind of a turquoisey blue. Our Christmas cart is going to be green and red. I have stamped my images on smooth watercolor cardstock because I am going to use Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. So I have a paintbrush pen. I don't have any water in mine. I just use it like a paintbrush. So I have a little bit of water on my work surface. I like to add my color with the marker, dip my paintbrush in a little bit of water, tap it off lightly on the on the paper towel, and then bring it to my paper and blend out the color. That's how I like to do it. I think there's lots of ways to do that, but that's just how I do it. So I get some darker areas, some shadow areas, just using one color and the water. I think this little cart is so darling. I had a couple ideas for this card. My first idea was going to be having the snowman do the ice cream because that was the original treat cart. It has ice cream treats, and I thought, how funny would that be that the little snowmen are eating ice cream? But then I saw that the treat cart coffee add-on had hot chocolate, and I thought that would be really cute. So both ideas to me would be a lot of fun, but I just thought it's kind of silly that they're drinking some hot chocolate. Well, one of them will end up be drinking hot chocolate. I did bring in the purple and blue and yellow for our Christmas lights. So there's 2 of those. I'm going to use both of those. I think I used everything but one mug with marshmallows. Adding the red to this cute little sign. The sentiment that's going to be in this says candy cane latte, and I think that is really, really cute. I love these tiny little images, a couple of gingerbread cookies, like I mentioned, some candy canes, a croissant, a cake pop. I mean, who doesn't love a cake pop? I'm going to use this turquoise blue for the mugs, trying to keep that cohesive. I didn't want to bring in too many colors, but I did want to have a good variety. So we have some browns, of course, for the gingerbread men and the croissant. And when I saw this little croissant, it totally made me want to eat a chocolate-filled croissant because they're so, so delicious. And then we have the cute little snowmen. We have 2 hats, 2 scarves. We've got 2 different sizes of arms, little twig arms here, because again, these are the 3 smallest snowmen. There's 5 total, so you have 2 bigger ones in the stamp set. We're going to do a purple hat, a red hat, a green hat, and a blue hat. And the scarves both will be red. So I'm going to do those here. Again, this is really kind of quick coloring. I did stamp this with Lawn Fawn's Jet Black ink. It is watercolor friendly for sure. I did have to bring in a little bit of orange for their carrot noses. And I'm going to use a light blue for the snowmen because I want them to feel icy rather than just leaving them white. You could also do a light gray, but I opted for this light blue. It felt a little more cheery. And I'm going to give them each little pink cheeks with a very light pink. And then I'm going to use the coordinating die to die cut all of these out. Then I have my acrylic block, and to me, it's quicker when I want to stamp these little sentiments on the sign. So this sentiment, this is the candy cane latte. Then that is from the Treat Cart add-on coffee stamp set. Then the one I'm going to put on the cart says Season's Greetings. Then there's the tiniest little snowflake, and I use this snowflake a lot in this card design. I'm going to use it a little bit later too, but I'm going to add that to the coffee mugs. I decided to add that instead of the buttons. The little snowflake buttons are going to be on the snowmen rather than the round buttons. And then the two little ones, I'm just going to put a snowflake down on their side because they already have little buttons. And then I'm going to add that next to the sentiment on the cart here. It's just the cutest little thing, and on the top of our sign. Then I am using the slimline stitched hillside borders, 2 of those to create some snowy hills, die cutting that from the watercolor cardstock. I'm going to use that light blue and just add a little bit of color to the top edges because this is stitched, which I think is darling. And then using my water brush pen just to blend that out with a little bit of water. And this is going to give us a nice icy blue hill, or 2 hills for our cute little scene here. Then I'm going to have an A2 sized piece of white cardstock, and I am ink blending with tumbled glass distress oxide ink. Then I will be using the Snow Flurries background stencil on top of this with the fairy dust stencil paste. This is just going to give us nice little soft illusion that there is active snow falling because this is very glittery and clear, and the background sky is just very soft. I really wanted everything to be about the snow and the characters of this. I don't need to go all the way to the bottom because the hills are going to be covering that, but then I can set this aside to dry, and it does dry pretty quick. So while that's drying, let's put together our characters. I've got my 2 sets of lights. I'm going to glue those from behind instead of in front. I think that looks really cute. And then we'll come back to this cart here in a minute to add some other little details. You can see that tree there in the tray. That is the Christmas tree from the Christmas Dreams stamp set. I colored it using all the same colors that I did on the rest of our little characters here. So we have the hat and the scarf on both of our bigger snowmen. Then we have some arms that we got to put there. I'm going to do the smaller arms on the smaller snowman, which is going to be kind of like probably the mom snow woman. And then the 2 bigger twig arms for the bigger snowman. Then we have our cups, our treats. I'm just deciding who's going to get wet. I'm not going to glue the treats on the big snowman yet. I will just on the little ones, but I'm going to wait till I put the scene together. I will add a coffee mug, a cake pop, a gingerbread cookie, and a candy cane to our treat cart here. I'm going to tuck that candy cane in on the left side. The small snowman with the red hat is going to have a gingerbread cookie, and the other one with the purple hat is going to have a candy cane. And I'm just alternating sides of where I think they should go so it just looks different on our scene. On that very small hill that's going to go at the bottom, I'm going to stamp the sentiment. The sentiment is from Christmas Dreams. It says Merry Christmas. I'm going to center that and stamp it with lobster ink. I love this red ink. It's beautiful. And then we can adhere our pieces. I laid down those hills just with some tape runner. And then now we can put our little pieces together. So again, this is A2 size. I laid down those hills, trimmed the excess off the sides, adding a little bit of foam adhesive behind the tree and the cart. And then everything else, I will just use some liquid glue. I'm going to tuck this sign in behind that snowy hill. And then I've got two snowmen kind of flanking the sentiment. We have the biggest snowman here in the back, like he's waiting by the treat cart. That way he can have his little treat. I couldn't find the croissant for a minute, so I gave him a coffee mug because he was supposed to hold the croissant, and I thought, oh, maybe I threw it out. I did not. It's stuck behind one of these little tiny snowmen. This one right there. So I will be replacing that coffee mug with the croissant. And then we have our two little snowmen here. So let's put that croissant in place. And this is where I'm going to use that snowflake again. First, I want to use that same light blue marker. I'm adding some shadow underneath all of these images. And then I'm using my water brush pen to lightly blend that out so it just looks a little bit darker underneath each one of the characters. I like to do that. It kind of grounds them. Then I'm going to take that same little tiny snowflake using the same tumbled glass distress oxide ink, and I'm going to stamp snowflakes all over the snow. I just thought that would be really fun and really cute, a little extra something, and I love how it turned out. So just randomly putting snowflakes everywhere. And then this will be adhered to a white A2 size card base, but I'll show you this up close here in just a second when I'm done stamping. Look at those little snowflakes. Look at the back with the stenciling. I love that. And all these cute little characters. I love the Frosty family stamp set. And of course, the treat card is just absolutely darling. I think this card turned out so super cute. What a fun little Christmas snowman scene. Thank you guys so very much for stopping by and watching. I hope that you guys feel inspired by this project, and I hope you have a wonderful day.